Our next speaker is a family man, a successful businessman. He's a prominent award-winning artist, a man of creative expression light years ahead. Sergio Redegalli is an innovator in sharp political persuasion whose unique art forms redefine the meaning of art. From the politically incorrect visit to Parliament in a burqa, to walls of stunning murals displaying confronting and poignant truths, Sergio brings to the table a cutting-edge pathway to express just what it means to be a patriot. Please, can you welcome Mr. Sergio Redegalli?
Anyone need suntan lotion? I'll give it to you. You can handle it now. Thank you. Hand it around the big now. Hello, everyone. Today's picnic, I think, has turned out better than what we thought. We've actually got to have enough food. Porky here, I think, will be a bit late for the party. Now, my views, personal views. I'm an artist. I'm an Australian. Up until yesterday, I used to vote Liberal. No longer. So I think the Premier did a massive disservice to all of us yesterday. Sorry about the phone. And sorry, that phone just made me lose my concentration. It's probably my mother wanting to find out how I am. Now, the only thing I can say is I have been listening to Triple J for the last 40 years. Yeah? And part of that is that I'm proud to say that Triple J is actually here today. And for the first time in 40 years, I'm actually starting to think that the ABC is actually being fair about both sides of the story. And that gives me a lot of pride that our ABC, because it is ours, is starting to do the right thing. And we can only hope they do more. Now, I don't believe in multiculturalism. I believe in multiracial Australia. I grew up in Australia that didn't have multiculturalism. Starting from the 70s to the 80s, it was slipped in, just like the carbon tax was. And as the carbon tax was removed, multiculturalism should be removed. It's just as simple as that. If we want to help our youth that are Australians, that come from a Muslim background, we don't need to hate them, we need to help them. We need to work out ways of making them feel like they're more Australian, and part of that is removing the direction they're heading in being insular, because their own process of separating themselves from the Australian society is the problem. Through burqas and what they do creates fundamentalism. Their schools encourage fundamentalism, and we have a problem. The Quran can never be reformed. It's been worded in such a way that no Muslim will even dare to change the interpretation of the Quran. So I guess the difference between myself and all the PC politicians out there is that I accept the existence of Islam. But if people want to live as Muslims somewhere overseas, they can do that. That's their land, their rules. But the problem with that is when they go through the process of destroying their own countries, we don't have to be, laboured with their problems, because while we can say we can open our doors for 12,000 people, not a problem. But the day is, it's not going to stop. For the next 30, 40 years, there's going to be migration from these war-torn countries created by their own ideology and them not being able to get along with each other. So from our point of view as Australians, we should be sympathetic, we should be helpful, but we need to resolve our own problems. While we don't have enough schools, we don't have enough hospitals, we have homeless people that are not being looked after, we need to look after the Australian community and as much as we can help other people, but let's send some money overseas and let them fix their own problems rather than us having to look after everything here. Now, my opinions apart from multiculturalism being a problem from the 70s, the Brown syndrome. Bob Brown and his Greens Party. From the 70s, he's created an environment that stops people from talking openly, because as soon as you do, you're classified as a racist and a bigot. Now, the Brown syndrome, short for BS, if you didn't pick that up, right? We need to debate that, and of course, politically, we can take on the Greens. But the Greens have done the damage to our political system, because now all our politicians are afraid to speak up, because the minorities that are the ones that control the final position of Parliament, because they make up the swinging vote, is a problem. And we have to face that. And now you can see all these years down the line, we've got lots and lots of other political parties, and we're going to see if that's good or bad in the long run. Like for me now, I can say I'm no longer Liberal, federal or state. I've got to find a party that I want to put my vote in, and I've got to do some research. Another punchline that I've been working on for a while is that we keep on talking about the Islamic State. Now, we do have a world problem with the Islamic State, and in actual fact, people now are using the word Islamic State, finally. But while we may be able to win against one area of Islam in certain areas of the world, the true criminal part of this is not the Islamic State, but it's the Islamic state of mind. And until we can actually debate and talk about what the Islamic state of mind means and how we can help those poor individuals come out of the dark ages and join the rest of humanity. And that's not just in Australia, because you know there are a lot of Australians that are Muslims that just live in our society. But we're talking about the world problem that's influencing our young people in Australia. And we need to be able to openly discuss that without people being called bigots or racists. And that's the biggest problem we have. The Brown syndrome shuts everyone down before a conversation can be happened. Yesterday's scenario with the courts, it's a joke. This is what would have happened anyway. Probably a crowd maybe twice as big as this. It would have been peaceful, we still would have had food, and we would have had a great day. But out of paranoia, they believe that we, as a group of individual Australians, were going to be violent. They do not believe, and this must be their problem, that we as Australians could actually come together and be civil. And that's where they've insulted all of us by accusing us as only being violent. They never asked most of the speakers what we're actually talking about. For me, the violence 10 years ago was stupid. It wasn't necessary. We didn't need to lower our own standards to other people's levels. And hopefully it'll never happen again. The 10 years ago was a perfect storm. It wasn't just the responsibility of Australians. If the media had a part to play with it, telecommunications had a part to do with it. From then, we've all learnt lessons, and hopefully it'll never happen again. And we as, let's say, the mums and dads here, and the adults, have to show and encourage the young people here that there's another option, that you can have a picnic, you can have a gathering, and you can talk, and you can do it civilly, and never act like the ferals that are on top of the hill and on the other side. So I could go on for hours, but they're my points. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio. Another round of applause, please. Okay, we're next.
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye.
Bye for now.